welcome everybody to our session on AI plus learning and development. I'm Danielle Wallace. I am the Chief Learning Officer of Beyond the Sky Custom Learning, where my team and I have the privilege of working with so many wonderful organizations to help create effective learning. And I'm particularly passionate about elevating our industry of learning and development so we can rise to the occasion and actually use new technologies in a way that really helps ourselves, our organizations, and so many other people. In addition to the many conference talks that I give on AI and the many publications and the many different sessions throughout global industry events and the podcast I speak on this topic, I'm most excited about this here, our community, where we can learn and share from each other. So Beyond the Sky typically creates custom learning for organizations, but this is where we're particularly passionate about, is how we can help you better use AI to be sharing how we can collectively benefit. And I will be sharing information such as a podcast link at the end of the session. So joining me today is Yelena, our Chief Operating Officer.
Hey everybody, lovely to see some new faces and some familiar faces today. Some of you may know me from previous sessions where we worked together in breakout rooms and had amazing discussions and conversations. I'm so delighted to be able to witness this event today, to support each other in our A journeys. Glad to see you all and really looking forward to our discussions.
So all last year in our monthly community practice, we've had the ability to really bring hundreds of great minds together and to truly learn from each other. Now that we're in our second year, we are going to continue that. And this is going to be your chance to actually get some questions answered, to connect with others. We'll also be showcasing and inviting you to showcase some examples of using AI within our world of learning and development. Then we'll break into smaller breakout rooms to have a more richer discussion. And then finally, we'll recap. We'll be sharing some guidance and we'll be sharing some helpful resources. So get ready for the ride. And I invite you to be able to participate, to share, and to truly benefit from your time creating this rich community that we have together. So with that, I'm sharing my screen now without any sound. And I want to share with you 3 different ways that we have seen AI come to life. I'm going to be sharing you 3 different examples. And I'm wondering if you can identify which one is AI. The first one's a painting that you see. The second one's another painting that you see, and the third one's another painting that you see. Could you put into the chat or put into Menti what one you think is actually created with AI? I'm always fascinated to see that. If you think it's A, B, or C. And likewise, feel free to put this into the chat because one of these is not real. I'm hoping many of you have played around with using generative AI to create images. Mostly I spend my time trying to create really photorealistic images. What's interesting here with these examples is these also could be photorealistic. Perhaps these are photos of actual frescoes, or perhaps they're not. If you could put into the chat which ones you think are generative AI. Love some of these thoughts and discussions that are happening here. We're seeing some lack of consensus. Overall, I'm kind of seeing these things are everywhere, which is interesting because within our world of learning and development, how as well do you know where your learners are at, and in particular, what is real and what isn't real? So put your last thoughts in, and I will share out again which one it is. So I'm still seeing some randomness here. Okay, the real one is the one in the middle, actually. While it does look like it's real, considering there's actually like a a house that's painted from. It's not. The other two are real. A fresco from Ljubljana, a painting my friend painted for me. This all goes to show you that AI is really come a long way.
Now that we've had some fun with AI recognition, let's see where everybody is in terms of our experience levels when it comes to using AI. So whether you're an AI novice or you've been using AI regularly and working with it on an everyday basis, the next part will truly help us understand where we are in terms of our current level of AI use. So Danielle, would you kindly share a poll that you've prepared for us?
Yes. I think some of you are entering it already as you're putting into the menti.com using the code 51063820. And also feel free to put into the chat if you prefer that. How would you rate your experience? I know, Yelena, we've seen in our conversations with the many organizations that we've spoken with that this use of generative AI seems to be often in its early stages across the industry at large, but we often see pockets of more super users. And it's really interesting to see where things are at.
Exactly. We're hearing, as we're hearing from Michelle and Chantal, they consider themselves early explorers at the beginning of a journey. But it's also interesting that how relative it could be. We've seen so many AI pioneers in our community of practice who are early adopters, but then have come along really, really far in their AI use in comparison to where some other people may be. So it's interesting to see what everybody considers their level of experience to be in this poll. And we're seeing 43% say I use it every other day for specific tasks. It's pretty much pretty high rate of use of AI, if you ask me, which is amazing.
And we've seen so much, and please continue to answer in the poll. So with that, though, I'm really curious to see those of you who are using it a lot more, what's any examples of that? And we'll add into the Mentimeter link into the chat. But in the meantime, is anybody interested in sharing? Sana.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sana. I'd love to share something that I've been working on using AI, if that's okay.
Please go ahead.
Okay, awesome. Well, I've recently created this AI-generated movie trailer of Harry Potter, but with a retro-futuristic twist. In this world, magic meets technology. And although this was a very fun project to make, it was also built with intention for Cyber Awareness Month. It's really designed to be a reminder that as technology and as AI evolves, so do cyber threats. And it's designed to be a conversation starter about the need for awareness, education, and action when it comes to digital safety. So I'll go ahead and share my screen so you can see the video. It's about 2 minutes long, so it's not that long at all. And I'd love to get your feedback. I do want to mention that this was 90% created with AI. So the voiceover, the images, the video, the background music was all created with AI with a little bit of human puppeteering. So I'll go ahead and share my screen, sorry. And if you could just give me a thumbs up once it starts to let me know that you can hear the audio, that'd be great. Thank you. And I just need 1 second. My share button is disabled.
Jovi, can you fix that?
And see that option.
Can you put we'll put the link into the chat. Can you put the link into the chat and I can play it as well?
Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to be sharing my screen. I'm going to give you a heads up. I'm in a hotel room, so I've got limited bandwidth. So in case it's not supposed to be
Oh, I can
as
share
slow
my
as it's
screen
showing.
now.
Oh,
So
you can
let
share.
me
Okay.
go ahead and do that. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
And
In a
some
future
audio.
where magic meets machine, a new kind of power is born, techno-magic, where magic and technology unite to shape a brand new tomorrow. Step aboard the Hogwarts Express train. Welcome to Hogwarts Techno-Magic Academy, the most advanced school of witchcraft, wizardry, and technology in the universe. A place where innovation is spellbinding. Meet Harry Potter, the boy who lived, a young hero destined to bridge the ancient forces of magic with the dazzling power of machines. With his friends, the brilliant Hermione Granger, the brightest witch of her time, mastering the magic of the future, and the ever-daring Ron Weasley, chess master and loyal friend. Together they form an unstoppable trio. Under the guidance of the wise Professor Dumbledore, the ever-watchful Professor McGonagall, and the kind-hearted Hagrid, they must ensure magic and technology unite for the greater good. But beneath this world of innovation, a darkness stirs. Not all is as shiny as it seems. As magic and technology converge, Voldemort has discovered a terrifying new power. Dark magic supercharged by futuristic tech. Now, Harry and his friends must embark on the most thrilling adventure of their lives with the power of friendship and techno-magic. Can Harry stop Voldemort before techno-magic, as we know it, disappears forever? Get ready for heart-pounding action with jet-powered broomsticks, mind-bending techno spells, and a showdown like you've never seen before. Where magic meets the future.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
That's it.
Amazing. Oh my goodness. And just echoing a lot of the comments to summarize them. People are like, wow, this is mind-blowing and terrifying. It makes you really think, you did this? Like you actually created this with AI? The voice, the characters, the sound, the music?
Yeah, everything was created with AI. The images and then the video generation from those images, the background music, which I thought was really great. I think AI does such a great job with music. And for somebody who just can't sing at all, I think it's just great. I can make all the songs that I ever wanted to make. But yeah, everything's made with AI. But of course, you do need that human touch. And so, there is a lot of time that goes into generating the content and finding the right mix because you don't have as much control over what's going to come out on the other end. But of course, once you start using the tool, you get to know how to enable that control and how to be, just a better puppeteer of the technology.
That is so mind-blowing. And San, I know you have an amazing Success Sticky Notes YouTube channel. I highly recommend everybody subscribe. Her work is like mind-blowing, as you can see. And I think you describe in a lot of your videos how I recognize some of the tools. I think you go through and you share which tools or how to use various tools.
Yeah, absolutely. So in the description of that video, I have included which tools that I've used. And I think I've also included like some free alternatives. And of course, the free alternatives are great, but you're not going to get as great a quality with something that's not paid. How many hours did it take? It did take me quite a few hours. And that's because I'm a bit of a perfectionist and I had a vision that I wanted to execute. And so I was particular. So it did take me over a week to put together. And yeah, if you'd like to learn about AI and the different tools that exist and how to use them with a little bit of, how L&D can use them and how it can be used for marketing, then yeah, it'd be great if you could subscribe to the channel. There is lots to learn there, and I'd love to hear what you want to learn so I can create about that.
Oh, so amazing. Oh my goodness. Thank you. I'll also share, well, not maybe as in that vein, your hard act to follow, but I will share with you something that's been really fun as we look at other ways of having this level 2 type of learning experience. So by level 2, level 1 being the framework for which we can create what we do now, but faster. And then level 2, this idea of actually creating what we can't create at scale unless we're using something like generative AI. So this is an example of a generative AI solution. And perhaps I'll actually ask a volunteer to help me out with this. If someone wants to raise their hand and be a volunteer, I'll set up the context for this situation, and then I'll get someone to volunteer. So this is an e-learning course, but imagine you are a new hire, you're worried because you need to make a big presentation to executives, but you have a coach. You have a coach who's offered to help you. And your objective is you're going to obtain advice from your coach. So every time that you have the interaction with this AI coach, they say something different. Today they're saying, how do you currently perceive the challenging characters in the stakeholder meeting? So again, you're going to a big sales meeting with executives, you're worried. Do we have a volunteer who might be able to participate? And if so, can you raise your hand? Jovi will unmute you. And while you do that, I'll get you just to speak out loud. I am in a hotel room with poor Wi-Fi and only one screen. What's interesting about Sana's example is it really goes to replace me. I'm here for a video shoot for ATD. But I'm like, wait a second, you don't need me in person flying all the way here. Like, really? Yelena, maybe you'll participate, or unless there's anybody else who wants to participate in this interaction.
It's a unique chance to test out this unique interaction. If nobody else is interested, I can give it a shot.
Okay. So answer, like, honestly. So you are a new hire. I don't think you've seen this one before. So you are a new hire. You want some coaching advice, okay? So your coach says, how do you currently perceive the challenging characters in the stakeholder meeting? What might you say? Well, sorry, how much you answer the coach?
Yeah, I may say they are busy, like they're too busy to give me their time.
Okay, and let's see what your coach says to you. How important is their presence in the meeting to you? Oh, interesting. What might you answer?
I would say it is highly important.
Why do you feel their presence is crucial?
So I guess if my objective is to obtain to manage challenging senior executives, their presence is crucial. Well, because I need their sign off. Like I need their sign off on the content that we're working on. Otherwise, the project will just get delayed until we get the sign off in some other non-direct way.
For this. What strategies do you have in place to address any potential resistance that might have towards your content or project?
What strategy do you have in place to address any potential resistance? That's a very good question. Actually, I refuse it.
Maybe it's time to put the strategies into place.
Exactly. Good tool. Any potential resistance they may have towards your content and project. So honestly, I don't have any strategy. Can I put I don't have any strategies?
Yeah, this is good.
Would that be bad?
What's really fun with this is that every single time it's completely different. Like it's so different. So it's just fun to see what's possible. Okay, that's fine. So and then it continues on. What's kind of fun in this example is that it's actually not giving you any advice, which I find is fun. It's actually coaching you. It's actually a coaching scenario. And we've deliberately programmed it to not give advice. We had a version that gives advice as well, but we actually wanted it to simply be something that was always correct. It's not giving you advice. So that's another fun example of, in particular, using generative AI into a learning solution in ways that we can't create now. Right now, we can't have every single one of you right now could go into that tool and it would give you 100% personalized feedback and ask completely different questions, be a completely customized coach. You just can't do that right now at scale, but suddenly we now can with the use of generative AI. So it's fun to think what's possible. Maybe I'll share with you one last example that I whipped up really, like, I wasn't planning on sharing, but I whipped this up for fun. And it's public, like I'll make it available to everybody. So I'll get a volunteer, no, maybe I'll do it myself. It's a free GPT that I just created because I had to write down what I really wanted to say, yet I needed to preserve my friendships. So let's make this to my kids, okay, or my husband, okay. What's something I'm mad about? Okay. Don't you see that? Okay, and you can just, I wrote it originally actually for work situations. So this is the message I really want to write to him, but let's see what else it said. Oh, isn't that nice? And it revises it for me and it gives me feedback. Oh, isn't that? I've been driving the kids every day. Could you please take the initiative to help with this? So I personally just want to share this out because I've had fun with this. I put down what I really want to say to people. And then it comes out in a really nice way and it grades me on how aggressive or accusatory my responses are. So just a fun piece that maybe you can have some fun with as well. It's a great way to relieve that aggression or just be able to have a rating. So yeah, check that out. I will put the link into the GPT link into the chat as well for this tactful tone transformer. So now that we've seen some examples, let's continue our learning journey.
Yeah, and thanks for sharing these, Danielle and Chana. I think all of us are getting ideas now. It's a great way to show what is possible, right? What are the opportunities we have? And they're unique. They're truly unique. And to think that what you're sharing is just a snippet and into the door of what is possible, it's amazing. So thanks for that motivation. Thanks for sharing how you did it. Yeah, just thinking about the opportunities is fantastic. And I'm also thinking about challenges. So while there are so many opportunities, there's challenges sometimes, and we've experienced those. We've heard others talk about challenges in our previous community practice sessions. And sometimes those challenges to AI adoption are internal, sometimes they're external as well. So we're curious, what's been the biggest hurdle, and please share in chat, what's been the biggest hurdle you've had in adopting AI within your L&D work, or perhaps within your organization and using it to the level that you'd like? So feel free to share in chat what's been the biggest hurdle in adopting AI so far for you. And we have things like security. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, we definitely see that across the board. And also this time, right?
Yeah, totally, Danielle. And I feel like we are so privileged to, like ensuring data, but time to explore it, definitely. I think we're quite privileged to be able to hear those unique challenges within the paradigm of what others are saying is happening with AI in the world. I'm sure you've seen those statistics, by Deloitte, by Forbes, by all these authorities that tell us that nearly 48 companies in 2024 are adopting AI. So that's one statistics I'm sure many of us have heard. We also have statistics that are saying, AI adoption will reach 72% by 2030 or by 2025, or that it may replace half of our jobs at some point. And then to contrast that, we have those challenges that you're sharing, many of them truly, truly unique. Others, some of them are externals. Some of them may be more internals, concerned about time to explore and learn. So super interesting and a really great segue into our in-depth discussions that we'll have in our breakout rooms.
Yeah, we'll be splitting everybody up into random breakout rooms. And this really is your opportunity to speak up and share verbally. We're starting these great conversations here in the chat. We can now continue those and actually have dialogue, actually have real discussions. It's so clear, though, from my room that AI adoption really comes with its own set of challenges, both from the enterprise level, but also even just individuals, like at the individual level, and maybe some of the change management that's needed there.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that was a sentiment in our room, Danielle, as well. We had a really rich discussion and lots of different stories from different AI adoption challenges and hurdles. What I saw as a theme, perhaps, if I may synthesize what we talked about, yes, there are many hurdles that relate to external factors, security issues, policies, things like that. What I really found interesting and common to most of these is that while these are reasonably surmountable challenges that I guess in time as AI advances, we'll have much safer ways of using AI. The policies will advance as well as such. There are internal hurdles that I've heard about in our chat room, in our breakup room, that are very interesting to highlight. And that was feeling overwhelmed. I heard different stories that link to that feeling of where do I start? How do I even start? If I start, I lose so much time on getting caught into the complexity of these tools and how I can use them, and then it takes away from my core work. So this is something that people talked about, and we've seen that a lot, right, in the industry and elsewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Just this feeling of, well, how do you even get started with AI? And there's this AI learning curve, and I need to stay on top of all the developments that happen daily. So it's totally understandable to feel overwhelmed. But the problem is when there's resistance to AI and this perception or negative perception about AI because of the overwhelm. And I think one interesting example to share as a success story of how this can be overcome are those companies like Deloitte, PwC, who have successfully introduced trainings targeting dispelling of these beliefs and perhaps negative attitudes towards AI by showing people what's possible on a step-by-step basis, showcasing use case studies that are really minimal. They're really minimal viable product for people to try out before they go on to the next step. So having a training or a guidance from your company or management that allows you to experiment step by step, I think it can be a real game changer. And then it also links to not feeling alone in your efforts to push AI, as I think many of us as AI pioneers may face at times. Just having this support from a community like our own, or from participating in those initiatives that help you overcome the overwhelm, that help you see what's possible, what use cases can I leverage. I think that can be helpful to overcome those hurdles.
Yeah, definitely. And I know from talking with my colleagues in professional service firms, there's a lot more foresight done to not only have policies rolled out, but it's having those use cases and training. So their teams are actually like oh yeah, like of course we've had Gen AI training. Of course we know how to do that, and it's really cool because you see now the difference. Like you see how much further ahead my friends in those organizations are. Which links me to one of the themes that I saw in the break room I was in. It was this common idea of trying to get buy-in. So whether it's at the executive level trying to get buy-in and perhaps knowing, okay, how can we narrow down what that concern is and address that, or whether it's once you have a tool you can use, it's trying to get buy-in from franchise owners or employees or people that actually you actually have access, but it's that uncertainty about how AI even maybe affects their roles, that fear about what's to come. So tangible use cases. Jillian was talking about sharing tangible use cases. Here's the recipe for determining how much, your food ingredients will cost. Those specific use cases are really helpful so people know firsthand how they can actually benefit them. Yeah. I'm curious to know.
We have Eric.
Pardon? Yeah.
I think we have Eric who wanted to share.
Oh, Jovi, can you unmute Eric?
Yep, he's unmuted.
We still can't hear you. While you're unmuting, we'll also get everybody else to put into the Menti how you are promoting AI adoption. There you go, Eric.
Yeah, I was saying that Hélène also had her hand up and she has hand number 1. I have hand number 2.
Oh, sorry about that.
But in the meantime,
go ahead. Yeah.
If you, talking about resistance, I did a online workshop on helping job seekers who are over 55 years old, how to find their next job with the usage of AI. So there was a lot of unknown, uncertainty, some resistance. So I just showed them in like 45 minutes all the topics like how to analyze your own CV, how to find your dream job, how to find jobs, how to adjust your CV, your letter, how to exercise for the interview, even having your own ChatGPT talking to you and then answering questions as if it's the actual interview. And then at the end, they were really like, I didn't know this. And it doesn't seem like really scary at all. So
I like that.
It's hands-on exercise.
Yeah, and it really ties to providing people with some specific use cases. That specificity for their own lives really helps make it more achievable. Collectively, we're seeing here that people are providing resources for self-learning, and 23% are actively doing some training on Gen AI, and about 9% are offering one-on-one coaching. So the other theme on what Eric just said, and then what we saw within our groups as well, is this idea of a community. So whether it's what Alicia's doing at Yelp to create learning developments, creating this community practice, or whether you're here today within this community practice, overall, we are here. We really encourage you to be able to keep learning. And we have a number of resources to support you on that. In particular, we've seen that with leadership support and with your own initiative and forming this community, we can overcome these obstacles and we can do so together. So I encourage you to stay abreast of our community here. We also have a LinkedIn page where we continue this conversation. We'll answer further questions as well. Some companies have a strong support system, like we've discussed in our groups, but others don't. So that's why these connections, I know within our breakout rooms, Sarah and Matthew were both speaking about being their one person. So we're here as well as a community to help you. And then collectively we have this power to drive change and really lead by example. So I encourage you to join our LinkedIn group. Also, I have a prompt template that will provides as a way to help you get started. There's that QR code for the Future of Work podcast that I had promised earlier in the session. And then if you're ready to really take a step further, we're also happy to offer a range of different support. So we are offering an AI masterclass on December 11th. So it's a hands-on session that really helps you get your own use cases. Just as Eric was speaking about, specific use cases to those that he was speaking with, or we saw in my breakout room, people are talking about specific use cases that really resonates with them. We'll be looking at use cases to integrate into your own work, and really ways of boosting productivity and efficiency. And then we also offer not only this December 11th session, but we also offer this as a custom workshop for your organization. In addition, we also have personalized coaching. So Yelena is a certified coach, and she offers personalized support, in particular for some of the limiting beliefs and uncertainty around AI, and to help unblock that and ensure that AI adoption aligns with your professional and your organizational goals. Thirdly, we do offer ways we can teach you how to create those that storyline GPT interaction that I shared. We can teach you how to do that, or we can create stuff like that for you. It's really amazing to be able to have these types of level 2 interactions where you can actually have learners interact and create things that we just can't do right now without generative AI. And then lastly, I'm also available to offer keynotes to inspire and motivate your teams. Altogether, please feel free to email me with any questions on any of these. And I encourage everybody to keep learning, to keep growing, to keep trying these use cases. And in that spirit, if you could put into the chat what's one thing you've learned from the session or one thing you want to put into practice, it gives us a great opportunity to keep play testing, because we've seen this as individuals. We ourselves can make a huge impact in our organizations. We've seen that even with my breakout room. There's one individual, Alicia, who was spearheading the learning and development practice within our organization for AI. You too can do that. You as well can make these big impacts. You can make sure yourself that you're educated on how to effectively use AI. You can start play testing on different tools that can create real impact. So we are here for you. We are delighted to support you on your journey, and we are happy to continue this conversation. I'm going to keep continuing to put stuff into the chat, whether you're like, oh my goodness, Kim, Natasha, Josh, Yvonne, keep up those activities. Keep learning. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm looking forward to supporting your growth.